Tokozani. I'm so excited. I'm really thrilled. Two things. I'm thrilled about this filter because I said, okay, I know my skin is glowing and I'm all sorts of drip, but let's put a filter on. And I like the filter. I'm excited because my afro is growing. My crown is looking all sorts of yumminess. And I'm also excited because today is Q&A, and I know that it's one of the most favorite things that, the tribe members like, because when I come here and I do a Q&A, then we all get excited because we get to ask questions that we really never got to ask, and we get responses that we never really got responses to. So it is one of our most favorite sessions with me, where we get educated, enlightened, provoked, excited, inspired. So I'm in a very good space. The past 2 days have been emotionally intense for me because of what has been happening. And today, it feels incredible. And I also noticed something. I'm a mother of 4 kids, and I run a business, and I run an institute. And I noticed that sometimes as women, we want to be superheroes. I do have an auntie that helps me during the day, but I also recognize that I actually do need support at night as well. 4 kids, raising 4 kids between the ages of 16 and 4, it's hard work. So I have actually said no. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay. You're not being lazy. You're resting. You're rejuvenating, because even this is work, right? So I was like, Then I spoke to Babagas Busiso about getting extra support. And of course, as always, he's an incredible man. He said, why not? Let's get extra support. So we're going to get extra support to help me with the kids in the morning and in the evenings, because 4 kids, it's a lot. It is really a lot. I have such great admiration for our mothers. And sometimes we understand, like I understand why our parents were so grumpy, and sometimes when they couldn't get through us, they would want to use certain measures that right now we don't advocate for. But I understand, and that's why I also understand it takes a village to raise a child. So I understand all sorts of things, but I'm grateful. So I'm in a very good space, and I do feel beautiful. This filter is popping, the crown is flying. I'm all sorts of flames. Did you, beloved, see my post about primitive native? That dress is everything. I'm just so obsessed and in love with it. But we get straight into it. So tonight, what is the topic? It's Q&A. So let's ask the things that we really haven't asked before, where you are sorting out information, knowledge, understanding, advice, guidance, and so forth. But there's a lot that has already been covered. And we are still on the celebration of 100K followers. So I'm not yet doing YouTube lives. Reason being is I'm here so we can get people winning to becoming guest at the exclusive 10 table lunch with Coco Dinero. And we've been saying this. The criteria is you gotta be quoting me. And now I'm actually looking at not just people writing codes, but the designs they're making. People's designs are popping, the effort people put in. And number 2 is that you gotta be able to get yourself to the lunch. Number 3, you have to pay for your own lunch. What are you getting? 4 hours of my time. I mean, that is something amazing. That is something incredible. 4 hours of my day, which will probably be half a whole day, because have to get there on time, prepare, ground myself, gather myself, so the guest can actually find me there. And you get a free consultation, either a palm reading or a card reading. So it's going to be Joburg based or Gauteng based. Let's say Gauteng based, because we're still looking at some exquisite venues. For me, good food is everything. When I get a good meal, nutritious, fresh, healthy, made with love, it glows me. It brings the best out of me. And my mom cooked dinner today. I think that's why also I'm just so excited, because my mom made dinner, and dinner was super delicious. It was really, really nice. I mean, I had a sandwich because I came home from work, took a nap, had a sandwich, but I just had to eat because my mother cooked, right? So, yeah. So, we haven't yet announced the winners. I am still collecting the winners. I'm still watching and looking, who is I mean, the codes are beautiful. The codes, the attentiveness, the time. I really appreciate that. Yes, me loving the filter too. This filter is popping. Okay, let's go to I dreamt. We are not doing dreams. So Rule number one, when we do the Q&A, no dreams, because we do allocate time for dreams, because dreams on Q&A are very difficult for me to grasp the context of what you actually have dreamt of, because when we are dreaming, we do actually ask questions. And I think I say we because I don't, it's not only Dineo, it's not Coco, it's Coco and an army of her people coming forward to share some insights, education, and insightfulness, enlightenment, inspiration. So please, no dreams, right? We don't do dreams. Anything goes. Okay, Blue Babes is asking spiritual ties with previous lovers. Don't know what you mean by that, but do those exist? Of course. Sex is energy. And when you are sleeping with somebody else, you leave your spiritual imprint and DNA on them, and they do to you. So somebody once asked, is there something called spiritually transmitted diseases? Definitely. That's how some people get isiklito. That's why some people get islwani. So what is isiklito and islwani? Go on my YouTube channel. There is streams that teachings exclusively on that. But these are destructive forces that are going to, interfere with your well-being, your health, with your flow, right? And you being able to manifest the things in which you're desiring. So whom you engage with sexually, you need to understand that sex is sacred and you cannot just give of yourself to everyone. And I mean, we have the wild in us and we're like, oh, you know, I wish, because I do advocate for people's freedom of expression and how people want to be able to live and be themselves, but be cognizant that you don't also want to be taking on that which is going to be a destructive force in your life. So do be careful on whom you are giving of yourself to. So yes, you do create ties with people when certain people, you create ties. So if you are sleeping with somebody who's got an energy that is draining and are vibrating at a lower frequency, you're gonna absorb that. And it's mostly common for people who are gifted, because we are empaths, so we absorb things, we are sponges, so we take on other people's energies. So be very careful of whom you're sharing your sacred self with. You don't want an imprint that is coming and going to be taking away value rather than adding value into your life. All right, so let's go to the next question. Coco, I've had uvalo for a few days now and it's getting worse. Does it mean anything spiritually? So uvalo, which is also known as anxiety attacks, some people describe it as heart palpitations, as if something is coming out. That's common for spiritually gifted people, because anxiety is something is about to be born. Whether that's good or bad, that's the birthing process. It's an indication, it's a warning, it's a signal that something is percolating in the spirit world. Pay attention, be attentive. So normally I still get it post Tuktwasa Gwami. Normally what I do connect with it and I do ask, is this a warning? Is this just a present of my ancestral spirit showing themselves up? And why are they showing themselves up in a way that is creating discomfort? Or am I going to be hearing discomforting news or news that are going to really have me be unsettled? So it is some sort of signal when you get uval. Sometimes for me what helps is when I drink cold water. It does when I really take off my shoes and I sit on the floor to help me be grounded and connected. That also really helps. But I get it a lot also when I'm consulting, because I am picking up people with those conditions. So I do get headaches, I get uvalo, I get all sorts of elements that other gifted people have, even though they are not so present or prominent in my life now, because I have honored my ancestors. So I do, I do get the symptoms. Please note that in the spirit world, there's no good or bad. Things are what they are, right? So that's why I'm saying that you can say it's a bad thing, but it could be a warning signal. So also pay attention. Were you embarking on something? Were you starting a new project? Were you about to travel? Were you going to meet someone? What was going on? What is it that really triggered it? Because that could be an indication to either take it as a warning signal of something is about to go down, or never, don't do that thing, or don't make that decision. So it is a gift. For me, I take it as a gift. It is a gift waiting to be born. But it doesn't mean that what it is gifting you is what is going to be pleasant to you as the recipient of that particular gift, because we have expectations. So you might be excited about this new job or what's coming up, and Uvalo says, don't be too excited because something is amiss, or read between the lines. And it's not really anxiety. That's why there is no word to really describe uvalo in English, but we use synonyms like anxiety, palpitations, those kind of words. But there is iyazinza, ijulile mesithi valo ngesiZulu, litswalo kaSuthu. So to try really find an English word that can actually really speak to the depth of the experience of having anxiety is something else. But we're doing the best we can, making sure that language, is we can use a language that most people can really get. It's not anxiety. It's not like you're panicking about something. No, it's just a message that's coming forward. Togoza Koko, is it possible for marijuana to give non-gifted people ubungoma related dreams? No. Nope. I don't believe that. I believe that it already activates what was dormant, so probably already you were umgoma, and what it did, because it is somewhat a, what is it called? I'll think of the English word that's used. Like, it is somewhat an activation drug. I don't want to call it a drug. It is an activation herb. So it does activate certain energies that have been dormant, that have not, it activates. So it will not give you, for me, I've not had an experience of it creating an hallucination. It already awakens what is already there. It's just that maybe because now you're quieter, now you're more present, because you are not distracted by all these other things that are happening, because it forces you to be at stillness, then things become more alive and they become more, hallucinogenic. I don't know if that's the word I was looking for, but I'll think what is the word that I was looking for. Tawazani Koko, I get random smells of feces out of nowhere. Could it mean anything? Definitely, darling. Please go see a sangoma, because feces is this is waste. This is discard. This is things that don't serve our system. So when you smell it, when you dream it, when you have visions of feces, istrito. And if you want to find out more about istrito, there's a video I did exclusively on my YouTube channel. If you're not following the YouTube channel, you are definitely missing out on a lot of content here and a lot of teachings. So go check it out, because gui is trito. You're not supposed to be smelling things like that out of random. And gifted people have sharp senses of smell, of hearing, of seeing, of feeling. So it's warning you that something is not right, because feces are not meant to be smelled outside where they belong, which is the bathroom. Togoza Koko, how safe is Ugufemba? It is more dangerous for the person who's performing Ugufemba. People have asked me and I've answered about Ugufemba. If I can get Simnigiwu, I saw you. Please give me some highlights of the things I cover on the Q&A, so I don't have to repeat myself. I can actually highlight it on the YouTube, because I'm gonna upload this on the YouTube channel. So Ugufemba, it's a way of detecting, diagnosing, and eradicating that which is not serving you in your spiritual space. It's a Ndau way where people get trained, but you get trained and you also given the herbs, and you also get protected from inhaling and taking on any energy that might actually be dangerous to you, because ungafemba islwani, meaning getting rid of an entity or a spiritual entity that is creating a destructive force onto the person that you're fembering. So when you are fembering and the person has a force that has been fighting it, like islwani or a spog or something, it could be dangerous for you who's fembered, because it is not you in your face. So when I fember, I leave Dineo and somebody else comes. The ancestral spirit that fembers shows up, right? It shows up and it fembers, because I need to return back into Dineo. So sometimes the danger there is when you have to transition, because you're busy fighting a particular spirit. And that's why you have to have people who know how to help you and bring you back if you go too deep into an ultra state of a trance, so they can return you back into yourself. So it is, and besides that, it takes a lot. I mean, I know Uguti, because I was doing a lot of femba last year, especially around COVID times, and that's why I haven't fembered since, because I think, I'm not saying I did, but because I was in very close bodily contact with people, that's where I might have picked up COVID. So right now I said, okay, no fember at this moment, even though we smudge and pepper and stuff, but this is like close direct contact with the person, and it's just intense, you know. Togoza Coco, sometimes I smell yeast like umkomboti. I've also been hearing ringing sounds to a point where my ears get painful. Get it checked out. You know, when you've got a symptom that doesn't seem to be eradicated, no matter what other intervention that you do. So I would recommend that you do, because you might be smelling umkomboti because there's umpatlo that has to be done. There is an offering you need to be offering, or you might be selling umkomboti because there's insebenzo, you know, a ritual to be performed. Insebenzo, it's a ritual to be performed. And when your ears are ringing, it's because they're trying to reach you and talk to you, but you're not hearing them. So it creates a congestion on you know, it physically creates a congestion because it is the spiritual messages that are being passed on that you're not hearing. So if you don't know really what kind of umsebenzi to do or what kind of appeasement you have to do, go check it out. Go consult, and they can be able to give you some guidance. Togoza Coco, what is the meaning of behind smelling pen hair? I have no idea. I would be lying to you to try give you. I can just understand that when you're smelling things, I mean, fire for me, it's about getting rid of the old and rebirthing the new. There's a Zulu saying that says "Utshani obufile buvusa umlilo." So it's about getting rid of the old, but also we normally, I wouldn't say bent hair, but I would know and I don't know also, is that human hair, animal hair? So I don't know, because with animal hair it could be some, when we do certain offerings or appeasement ceremonies, some meat we ban, and we need to ban it with the hair on it. So I wouldn't really know. And remember, this is me trying to attempt to give sense to your experience, but don't take it as an accurate interpretation of it, because I did say that I'm not clear, I'm not really sure what it could mean. Okay, because I was saying that, you know, like for example, in for when we go through grieving, when somebody has passed away, we do cut off our hair, because we're going through, I mean, we don't do that a lot, because we've had a lot of people pass on, but that was a symbolism of new beginnings. You know, the old has died, now we are entering new beginnings. So yeah, we are not doing dreams. So I'm gonna ask the tribe members to give the fellow tribe members who who are joining in, to just get us stuck to the Q&A without having to bring dreams in. Koko, if you're told unestunya but get told to buy amapai obungoma in your dreams, should you get them? I'm confused. Yes. So this is what I'm gonna say. Despite what somebody who's a seer, a healer, a sangoma, prophet says, what you should be able to really take as a message that is accurate is the things that your ancestors tell you through visions, through dreams, through intuitive feelings. So when you are seeing that, and it's tunywa, it does not necessarily mean uguti it operates only in a church setting, or isithunywa is a messenger. So even izangoma bazithunywa zamadlozi, we are messengers, right? We are healers because we are messengers. So I will say also prioritize what your ancestors are showing you, because you need to honor them. I might be guiding you, but whom you honor is them. Le filter enza enza umriviti, le filter enza inyuva enye nje. Yeah, you know, enza something. Okay, if you don't dream and you go for a consultation and they tell you to get a white and yellow duke, can one still get it even though they haven't dreamt about it? I wouldn't know, beloved, because that was a specific directive that you got from a consultation after another healer made a diagnosis. So I cannot say Guti that's wrong or right, because probably from what they've seen, they saw that that's what you need to get to activate your dreams, because different healers work differently. And I've said this, Yola, before, that it's hard for me to give input on somebody else's diagnosis in terms of what they prescribe for you as incorrect or correct, because we see and understand things differently. But I do know that we do encourage people who don't remember their dreams to use a white cloth to really, it's kind of also a way of purifying and clearing the energy filter around your bed to help you. Even smudging in paper does help, right? And I've also said things like making sure you eat 2 hours before you go to bed so that you're not sleeping tired. Making sure that you eat light, avoid meat, because meat takes longer, red meat especially, about 72 hours to digest in the body. So when you have to wake up to recall your dreams, you're too tired to have those recollection experience, to have the recollection of the dream. So I do encourage a multitude of things, and maybe try it, because they're not saying they're saying this is helping you to activate your dreams. But I really do not like to give my input or dispute anything that somebody has formally diagnosed, because I didn't diagnose you. So I can't come here and say, no, that's wrong or that's right. You know what I mean? Oh, I feel like I need water. Chokoza Coco, is there a remedy for lozi-related headaches? Yes, there is Mpemiso. You can, there's Mpemiso. It depends what is the cause of your headache, but Mpemiso also are quick remedies, like things like umlulama. Umlulama, it's a medicinal herb, right? Ialulamisa, because it will also help decongest, because sometimes you are congested in this area, and that's why you've got a headache. But sometimes is you are congested because you are not passing on the messages that you are getting from your ancestors, right? And the other thing is, Jimmy says it's me, I enhance the filter. So other people, my tooth sensitivities about umdao. I just got a tooth. When I go, I think you need to go your shoulder. I just also got a toothache as I'm talking about you, like a terrible toothache. So get lentus and abanye do snuff, right? There's also something called impande yombandu yamandao, where you would bend it and sniff it around. Some people use old sec balshise, and they would inhale it. But I would really like for you to look at your symptoms as an indication of a deeper rooted problem, so that you are able to really address it at that level, rather than treating the symptoms, because you'll have a headache and then tomorrow it's an itchy ear, and then the other day it's heavy shoulders. So if you could really address your headache from a point of view that it's a sign telling you of a deeply seated problem, and maybe you get it checked out. But just to ease the tension, umpemiso will help. Even snuff, some people take snuff, and it helps, because sometimes it could be that there's a duke or a particular cloth that you need to get in order for you to ease your headache. So do you see, just with a headache, how much I have said you could do, because headaches are an indication of a message from the ancestral world. So what is your ancestral message? Why are they coming in that way? What are they trying to tell and indicate for you? Tokoza Koko, what does it mean when somebody has Ubungoma related experiences, then they suddenly stop? Well, they haven't stopped, they've paused. So it means the second round of it will be much more intense. Because you don't, and this is how you distinguish between a gift and ubtagat. Because I always say to people, when you're having an experience of something with the Ubungoma gift, it comes and goes, and then it comes later on with higher intensity, and then the volume gets up, because they say, hey, and they give you an opportunity to reflect and say, okay, I'm going to pay attention, I'm listening. And then after a while, they come back, and they keep on knocking, and the knocking gets louder. So it doesn't mean it's gone. It will resurface. It will resurface. Whatever the experiences have been, they will come back again, and much more hectic. Busi is asking, can we be spiritually tied to friends too? Yeah. Yeah, we can be. That's why sometimes when we grew up, certain things when we were not encouraged to share with our friends, like your clothing, your underwear, because that also carries energy. So we can be tied to our friends as well. And but I also think like there's more of an emotional and a psychological tie to our friends than there would be spiritually. But yeah, it is possible. Okay, no dreams. No dreams, beloveds. Lerato is asking, what does it mean when someone tells you umntwana womoya? Okay, so when we say you have a spiritual calling, these are some of the common terms that I use. Please take note of them. Sizotu unedlozi, uhamba nemimoya, uhamba nabadala, unesikhwama. So those are some of the synonyms that we use for spiritually gifted or people with ubizo, because we use them interchangeably. So lerato, what remember to umntwana womoya, it means that you are spiritually gifted, because spirit is moya. So when they say you are a child of spirit, it means you are spiritually gifted. I hope that answers your question. Hi, beloveds, can we stop asking about dreams? Please, can we stop asking about dreams? See, it's dreams. Okay, Togoza Koko, as a gifted child, what does it mean behind having painful knees, ankles, headaches? If you go Wild Rose and look at my stream of signs that might tell that you are gifted, I do expand on these common symptoms and what it means. But let me give you one example. Knees represent surrendering. Angisho, when we surrender, we kneel, we bow to. So if you are not bowing to the gift, or you are bowing to your call, or honoring your soul purpose, then what does that do? It creates congestion and clutter on your knees. So physically you'll experience a disease of painful knees. So the ankles are also part of movement and taking action. So if we are not moving in the direction of our ancestors, then we would have those things happen to us. I did explain what headaches mean earlier on. You will see this. It's gonna be saved on my YouTube channel. You can replay it again. I'm just making sure that I get to questions of things that we have not really answered yet. I wonder if my mom is watching. I need water. Yeah, Shayas. Sabelo, ti amo, ti amo, ti amo. Nobody can hear me. No one. I was trying to get my daughter to bring me water. They're watching. Look at this filter. Like when you move, it's like, feels like I've got makeup on. Wow. Tiamo, can I have some water, please? Mm-hmm. My mother's probably watching. My mother watches my stream. She probably in the other bedroom watching me do this. She said she passed out yesterday when I was doing the second live. Coco, if you are appointed healer and is currently busy to attend to you, if your appointment is currently busy to attend to you and your ancestors are demanding you, do I exercise patience or go back to Patla for intervention? That's a very vague question. I wouldn't know how to specifically respond to that. What do you mean you're appointed healer? What do you mean that your ancestors are demanding? What is it exactly that they're demanding? Are you sure it's the ancestors demanding, or it's your need to be attended? That's there. I would respond to this to say from my own experience. So people would send me their dreams. So when you are gifted and I work with you, even if you've dreamt of me, because I'm a popular Sangoma, I mean, we all know Kokotineo, right? I mean, if we speak about Izangoma, and people will say Kokotineo. So I have come to accept that I'm a well-known Sangoma, and there's a lot of people who watch my teachings everywhere and have access to them. So when people dream, I do assess the kind of dreams that you have. Like, okay, no, these dreams are basically indicating that you're gifted, or these are giving me somewhat a indication that I might be your spiritual mentor, meaning ukobela wako, your spiritual teacher or trainer, maybe spiritual trainer, because now I'm doing spiritual teaching. I will still ask you to come for a process yamakobong, and I've explained this a lot of times about what amakobong is. It's even on the other Instagram Q&A. And then I would say ula makobong, come because you are there to accept and enhance your connection. You accept your gift and enhance your connection so that your ancestors can give you more explicit dreams and messages about the gift itself and where to and who. So I've had people who have come for Makobongo and went and were shown other Kobelas. So
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
No problem, Siri. You know how Siri is.
Okay then.
So we need to also understand, Guti, and people will dream of me, but the dreams you're having are common. If you dream of me in Gita, I always post in Gita. If you dream of me and it looks like there was Mkiti, of course, when I post about Mkiti, you see. So it has to be something that I do not share a lot about my actual work as Ukomela online. I don't show the details of the rituals that I perform. Normally, I show graduations and homecomings. Like I had one homecoming, and next week probably I'll post about it. So for me, it's, don't tell me the obvious. Give me something that I definitely know that you would not see it on my social media page, or I don't speak about it. Come and tell me about the meanings of the beads that I use Mpandeni and that the ancestors have told you about them. So there has to be specification, and we lack the patience to allow for the ancestors to confirm for us. And for me, I do that so you are sure in yourself that you are not coming to me because I'm known. You are sure you're not coming to me because you've got a liking. You are sure you're not coming to me because now I'm the, slaying Goko. You coming because that's where your ancestors want you. But it's for me too to have that surety for myself, because had I wanted to twasisa a lot of people, I was actually calculating and I was like, I probably have less than 50 graduates, and I started initiating people since 2016, but I have less 50 and I'm this well known. So there's no way, so definitely I'm not recruiting people and getting people come in my own time and finish in my own time. They are ancestrally led and I'm led by their ancestors. So I'm very cognizant of that, because I don't just take anyone to come to the institute, and it's a bit of a rigorous process for you to come and train with us. Me and Kulumkash are quite adamant about keeping to the integrity of our ancestral request of how we enroll and initiate people. So that's why I'm asking, it's a bit of a long explanation, but I'm giving an example of me and why sometimes somebody might perceive that it's taking long. I'm not taking long. I'm seeking a confirmation from your ancestors. Thank you, Tulu. You love that. I love it too. This is a very important question, I think. How do I develop a strong relation with my ancestors if I'm mixed race? I feel confused and displaced most times. And I think that, this confusion and being misplaced is it's a human condition and it's a human limitation, because we assume that people who are not black don't have ancestors. We all have ancestors. Ancestors are our loved ones who have passed away. And it is important to connect to our loved ones who've passed away. So when people go to mediums, sometimes it's okay. But when people go to Izangoma, it's not okay. It's the limitations and the stereotypes and the definitions and these boxes that we've created. Mixed race or same race, it is very important to connect to your ancestors. And let's say you are connecting with your ancestors and you really speak one language, you do inform them, because connection with your ancestors is amplified and is done accurately with intentions. It's the intention of connection that determines the outcome of your connection. It is not about getting the right kinds of tools, because you can have everything, you can have all the technicalities on point and you can gather all the technicalities, but how you actually bring it all together, meaning your intention might actually not be able to utilize the technicalities. You might get the basin pepper that you have harvested from a forest, snuff that was pounded in the village, handmade candles, and you have made umqomboti from fresh. But what are your intentions? How are you going to engage? How you interact? And because idlo zilibona la singaboni khona. They're not just impressed by all these offerings, because we can be doing them for ego and show off and not really being intending to really connect with them. We can just be trying to impress them. They don't need us to impress them. They just want us to be genuine and authentic. So for me, even if you are mixed, you do indicate. I remember I shared a postcard to learn where it said it's important. Yes, it is important to learn your indigenous languages, because it really, there are certain words that in English we don't even know how to express the depth of the words that we are trying to connect and communicate to ancestors. But if you don't know it, you do say it. Become honest and become authentic and real. I think for me, authenticity is more appealing to our ancestors than actually getting things right. It's about being authentic and genuine. No dreams. No dreams, beloveds. I'd still bump into a dream or two. Togoza Gogo, in your view, why do you think so many young people are called these days? I'm not dragging anyone as I'm spiritually inclined myself. No, it's not dragging. You're asking a very valid question. I feel there's a multiple reasons for why many of us are called. One is that I feel like we live in the times where we are openly speaking about being spiritually gifted than we used to. And because of social media, we have access to a lot of things than we used to. So it feels like there's just an increased number of people being called. They've always been called. It's just that there is more visibility now than there used to be visibility, right? Number two, I also think that there is a lot of us, maybe there is a 10% increment in the number of gifted people, because we need to be returning back to source. We are called because we need to we are the generation that is going to restore lost traditions and cultural practices that have moved us away from our essence as Africans. We are needing to be able to heal certain generational elements, illnesses, curses, discourses that have left us broken, unproductive, with ill health, with so much turmoil, that we are the ones who are called to really break those generational curses. And through us embracing those callings, we are healing certain pathologies and patterns that have not served us. The other thing that I feel like why so many of us are called is because also we need to make it an acceptable thing to be isangoma or to be a spiritually African healer. Like we just need to make it. It's not something we need to be explaining to the two generations that are going to come from our generation. It needs to be a norm. It needs to be something that we are comfortable with. I was actually looking and I was like, how comfortable people are with religion? Like when people would speak about you need this and this religiously on national TV and radio stations without anybody ever complaining about it, because we have normalized that. Yet with our things, the minute we start to speak openly about it, people get agitated. It's like it feels like we're now attacking what is theirs. So many of us are called because we need to change the narrative. We need to change the story, because the story that we've been told about us has demonized the very essence of our identity. So we are change makers. We are rewriting the narrative, and hence many of us are called. And what's the flip side of this? Some of us are called but not chosen, because many are called but few are chosen. So some of us are just called for ourselves to really be better versions of ourselves. Some of us go through these processes because there are rite of passages that our own parents did not perform, because their own parents never taught them those things. So we actually go through initiation processes to honor certain rites of passages, but we are not the chosen ones to do the work for others. and for the rest of the communities or for the nation. I hope I'm making sense. Some of us are called because we are called to really make well what is not well within ourselves, and that's it. But you are not chosen to do the work outside of yourself. You are really called to work on you. Doctors, thank you. Can you believe, tribe members, that this crown of mine, it's going to be a year old sometime in July? Because I've started growing my hair last year, July. Yeah, so it's quite new and I love how it's growing. So I hope I was able to, I mean, it feels like tonight I'm so deep again. It feels like it's YouTube where I go, I'm extensive in my explanation of things. All right. Okay, see, there's a dream. Okay. Just some Gotagoza Coco. How does one plead with ancestors if they are impatient about things? Well, it depends on what your parent. I saw your follow up question when your parents says you should wait. It depends. When we've got valid reasons to actually ask for some time, like when you are very young, you are underage, when you are busy with school, or you've got certain physical elements that need to be treated, biomedically, or through allopathic means, and that your elements are not really about the calling itself, then you've got valid reasons. So there's somebody who's really not unwell or who's not well in the family, therefore we can't perform certain slaughtering rituals. So there are valid reasons that we can ask the ancestors to say, please pause, give her time. She's young, she's at school. You do those things, but then you do commit to taking it further on when the time comes. Toza Coco, can you speak about Dingakachupo? Dingakachupo are herbalist, right? They are herbalist, and a herbalist normally does apprentice another herbalist. So you could be an African herbalist from just taking an interest. Unlike being a Sangoma, you do get a calling. But there are people who, Ngakachipo or Amakehla in Zulu, where somebody has to take lesos kwama sognyanga, right? So kwelapha, because you Dingakachipo and Amakehla are specialists and experts in understanding the medicinal plants that we use as healers. They understand the medicinal properties, when to harvest, how to collect it, and like that whole ecosystem they understand very, very much. The cosmologies of the medicine itself. And how you identify if one is one. Normally they wear bangles more than beads. They normally are not people of beads. They're people of metal, because the metal is a symbol of working with the soil and the ground, the minerals, because also the mooties are the minerals themselves. So you would not necessarily suffer severe elements as somebody who is spiritually called to be Isangoma. I hope that makes sense. Coco, what does it mean when you are the one gifted but your dream comes through? It means you are not connected. There's a disconnection, and probably your sibling is gifted too. It's just that maybe you are the one who's supposed to take the gift or walk the journey first. So really find out what is it that you need to do to connect, because it's important as a gifted person to recall your dreams. I think I've covered this. The other thing, I see a lot of other questions that I've responded to. Please make sure you do give yourself time to go through my YouTube page, because there's a lot of content there. Number two is that also go onto my IGTV. So if you go onto my Instagram page, it will show you a little bit of a TV icon. Press there and it will give you different series. There's a multitude of videos with tons of information of things like what is the difference between Istunya and Nausea. I have a special stream. It's uploaded on YouTube and it's on also IGTV. The nice thing about YouTube is that I'm sure you can download and watch later. So, why is it important for both partners to cleanse after the loss of a child and not just the mother? I'm sure it's both your child. So both of you, by cleansing, you're acknowledging that you've lost a child. And that should you need to conceive again, that child does not hinder, conception from both ends. So it's very important, and it's also, for me, it's important not to put the responsibility of parenting on the mother because they're the carrier of the child, but it says that both of us are responsible for the well-being, even the spiritual well-being, even the transitioning of this child, making sure that they go and reconnect back to their ancestors. I hope that makes sense. What time did I come on? Because I don't know how long I've been on live. I'm skipping dreams. Toza Koko, is it possible for a certain Lozi to gift more than one person in the family? We assume we work with one ancestral spirit. There are many. There are many, right? And when there are many, if you come from a family of healers, it means most chances are more likely it's gonna be you and somebody else. I mean, let's look at my family, right? My dad is a Sangoma. My mom is also gifted, but my mom, which was his profito, so she also works as a healer. Then it's Mkulum Kashwa, who's Isangoma. I am also Isangoma. My cousins are also gifted. My kids are gifted. But I also understand because Sinem Mpande Sekaya. So we are also Kobela. So it makes sense to have more than one person initiate because then you get support. I was having a hiccup, so I needed to drink water to stop it. So it is possible, but I don't think it's one person hopping from this one and this one and this one. I think it's one ancestral lineage. So it could be like your ancestors from your mother's side are gifting, more than you, right? So yeah, it is that. I really don't like it when people become like, please answer my question, and you're crying. And by me answering your question, I'm not gonna really save your life. Trust me. I'm just going to give you an insight because I'm not going to give you a solution to your problem. I'm just going to give you an insight. How do you book me? So you can DM me and I'll send you the phone numbers, or one of the tribe members here who's here will be able to share the numbers. I don't want to pin it because it's going to remove the Q&A because anyone who comes in see that we're doing a question and answer. But the number is 074 2089. Yeah. That's you WhatsApp. It's not a phone. Please WhatsApp. Thomas Koko, where do you learn Ndao language? Why do you need to learn Ndao language, Sandy? You see, when you've got a Ndao spirit, you will basically, when the spirit evokes and comes through, it will speak in Isindao. And Isindao, it's got different dialects to it. And hence, when you don't speak it or understand it, you ask them to bring the spirit of Unguni, which is your ancestral spirit that is connected to you, to help you understand what that Ndao spirit is saying. And you do learn it when you initiate. We teach you some Ndao words when you go through initiation. You see, certain things I'm not, when people say, why do you bath with cold water? Why do you do that? Certain things we are not here to explain them because you're not tossering. They're only meant for people who are going through those experiences, for them to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And we spoke about this, me and Annelies. So certain things I don't answer, not because I don't want to answer, it's because you're asking something that's way beyond you right now. You are asking things of stage 5 and you're still at stage 1. So by me trying to get you to stage 5, I'm really robbing you of walking organically your journey to really feel like you have come and you've you've ended your stage 5, because I'm skipping you stages. So understand that certain things I do not respond to, because they just you trying to move from 0 to 100, and you're gonna crash very quickly if you do that as well. And also, beloveds, when people diagnose you with certain ancestral spirits, ask them what it means, because with how they seeing, because, like, for example, we all understand what endowment is, but we all interpret it differently. So it's also important when you go for a consultation, ask for why things mean. If they say you are gifted, like, so what kind of gift do you see? If they don't see, they'll say we don't see. you know but I'm telling you, got this very close people. Now my ear is aching. It was the tooth, now it's the ear. Visto, man. Togoza Cook, is insomnia related to being gifted? Yes, it's one of the symptoms, but just having insomnia alone does not mean that you are gifted, because sometimes we suffer from insomnia because of stress. We are stressed and we overthink. So it is one of the signs, but it's not the sign or the only sign. Now that you have insomnia and you're like, wow, I think I'm gifted because I'm not sleeping, go and watch my stream on signs that might tell. And that's why I didn't say a sign, I said signs, because it needs to be a collective of those signs. Don't speak about beats. No, not interpreting dreams. How do we cut spiritual ties? It depends on the type of tie you have with someone, right? I normally, with the ties I've created with people, there's different types of cleansings that needs to be done, but also some ties are psychological and emotional. So I will do some cord cutting meditations as well, because it's very important. And sometimes I write letters. So it depends on the type of tie you have with somebody. Then you would need to then be prescribed the right kinds of tie breaking uh, process. Yeah. So there's different kinds of ties. Oh, there is a lot of questions. Okay, how do I purchase Mooty from you? I'm based in the UK. Just send me a DM and let me know what kind of Mooty you're looking for, and then we can see what we can do, because we do ship across the globe. We ship. I mean, today I just shipped some stuff, but I normally don't, because I'm not a herbalist. Then I'll ask him Kumkasha to make you something. Normally with people that consult with us, sometimes I normally just prescribe a cleansing process with the stuff that they can use in their respective countries, because I know alternatives to things. But then some people, they need the herbs, then we do courier them via DHL. So we've sent a couple of things overseas, and so just DM me. And it's actually easier in the UK because there isn't a lot of restrictions. Like America is a bit difficult, but the UK is much more easier. So let me know, what Mooty do you need? I'm trying to get to questions. Yo. Togoza Coco, how can one connect with if the parents don't want to introduce us to the ancestors? YouTube, my dear. Look at my YouTube channel on Q&A on African spirituality, and the other one that I've got is Patla 101, because I explain how to do that. Patla 101 will also help you. Who is Mkulumkashwa and how you related? Mkulumkashwa is the father of my 4 kids. So that's how we related to Mkulumkashwa. We run the institute together and we share closely parents and our children. So yeah. He's my partner in all sorts of ways. Hope I've answered your question. And I've known him for 21 years. It's a long time. Okay, I'm skipping dreams. Tab Singh says to Ozokok, I want to consult every 3 months and check in. Am I overdoing it? Well, I'll say you probably need 2 consultations a year, you know? Yeah, Mfikile says me and Mkulumkasha goals. Hey, don't envy other people goals. These goals are not easy to maintain. So, you know, unless there's a need, right? But maybe twice a year, every 6 months would be good. But every 3 months might be a bit too much. But Aratwana, Rekopa 21st. To me, what 21st are you asking about? Oh, the 21st celebration. Oh, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I've known him. I met him when we were very young at a friend's house. It's a long, long, long time ago, and we became friends from 2000 till 2004. Yeah, and that's 2004. We dated 2005 with Busiso, and the rest is history. All right. I'm curious, Nero, what is your interest in knowing about me and Kulumkwasha? How is that going to serve you? Because maybe if you answer me that, because you're seemingly asking me a lot of questions about Mkulumkasha, and I'm very skeptical. Mkulumkasha is a very private person, and I think last week I did mention about some woman who claimed that they've seen Mkulumkasha in a dream, and they came from Mozambique, and we attended to them, and then had the audacity. Yeah, curiosity killed a cat, my love. If I say I have 4 children with him, it means that there's something more to our relationship than the children. So maybe I'm just curious why you wanting so many details about my relationship, Nomkulum Kasha, and how is that going to serve you, and serve and enlighten you and inspire you and grow you. So I'm trying to really understand, and because I also know that Mkulumkasha is not like me. I can speak a lot about myself, but he's quite private. He's got an Instagram account, but he's also not. Yeah, I keep on speaking about him because he's a very important part of my life. So if I say he's my husband, and then what's the next question that you're gonna ask me? No. Yeah. So yes, that's what I'm asking, and it's. I think for me, I gotta be honest because we've had a lot of women, even knowing Kulumkasha, know that I speak about him, really come and ask for things. Like I was talking about this woman that she came under pretense of like, I'm seeing him, Kulumkashwa is supposed to help me sharp. Then Kulumkashwa, they go, we in Ebenzo, and they, luckily when we do in Ebenzo, we go with the gogos. So the female gogos administered the treatment. Then she comes back at the institute at 10 p.m. at night after she had the audacity to say that she wants to have a baby with Mkulumkash. So, and I do understand how women who do things like that, sometimes they will throw all sorts of things, and then we throw everybody under the same bus who've had really mistreatment from male healers. Right. And I was so upset. And I said, how dare you come to our space at 10 p.m. at night? you know. And that's why I'm saying, Guti, what is Newa's thing? But and maybe Newa Shem, darling, maybe we need to really give you a, yeah. But you are overstepping, my sweetheart, because you've asked me what's the relationship. I described it, then you ask and you'd ask. So that's really overstepping. So this woman, came. Yeah, and then the next thing came, ngo 10 at I'm from Mozambique, into from Mozambique, and you have an audacity to come to our space at 10 p.m. asking to see, like, you don't have an appointment. Like, no, I'm like, what else does he need to do for you? Because we've told you how we work. You think you can come with your bags after you've told him, Guti, this is a man who's got a whole 4 kids, and you wanted to sleep with him to have a baby. These things do happen. Right? With Sasa, there are stories and things like that. We really had to order her an Uber and chase her out. And I had to be like, I am not going to be Mother Teresa here and save the whole world at the expense of jeopardizing my children's life, the father of my kids, like my life, everybody's life, by just trying to be nice because you are from Mozambique. Probably a con artist. That's why I say that even though as healers, beloveds, we are not immune to the crooks of this world. There is people who come endumbeni bazobona umkhulumkasha and they're not really coming for a consultation. We get a lot of people writing messages on the institute number declaring the undying love for me, very, well knowing where my situation is, like how much they love me. They would even send me their private parts. There would be women who DM him, and I think that's why he's he's not a social media, saying all sorts of things. I went to this person and this has happened. Yes, there are people who really. So can we really not throw everybody under the bus and really play things like that? Because somebody says no to you and then you're like, no, but they were trying to do X and X. Because she slept in a separate room, not even in the rooms. So I was like, I'm not going to play games anymore. I'm not going to take a stranger into my house. Like, it was really appalling. And she was like, no, I can't go. I don't know I'm like, where did you come from? It's like, no, like some story that just was, 1 minute you can speak Shangan, the next minute you can't. So these things do okay. So people can come here and pretend to be asking genuine questions, but they could be actually dubious, right? So just to set the record straight, I'm still legally married to Mkulumkasha. So legally, Mkulumkasha is still my husband and the father of my kids, if that's not enough. But it will not stop anyone to go after things, because we know that we've got a lot of people who pride themselves in taking other people's people. But I always say, nobody gets taken because they're not a pot which you can steal. It's because they vomit to be taken. No, but maybe she's not disruptive. Maybe she's helping me to set the record straight, because there might be people wondering. Things are a gift. Togoza Koko, is it possible for one to undergo training without a gobela? At some level, you do need a level of mentorship. And because I even know with people who go through an initiation underwater, right? With initiation underwater, they do have to find a gobela who's going to take them out. So one stage in your life, you have to get somebody to really help you make sense and decode the language, decode the omens, decode the symbols in the spirit world. So you will need some type of mentorship somewhere, or direction, or you know what I'm saying. Mtambu tumelu ne ubani ngekwazi. I know there's a lot of people who come here and you think all of them are like, wow, we love you, Coco. Yeah, the 10 years of being a Sangoma has taught me so much, that actually the people you trust the most, the people who know so much about you and who come in and they're genuine, and including your own initiates. Nobody can come into your house and take things that they know nothing of. It's the trusted people that come and strike you behind the back. And I've learned that. I've really learned that. Honestly, Guti, this work, when I see how other Gobelas don't really allow their initiates to go into their houses, why they don't even want to share food, and we think, oh, they're being cruel and they're being that. I have been shown flames by my initiates. and by the people of, like, 1 minute you are the best thing that the world has ever given them, the next thing you are this evil monsters, the names and the things and the yo, hey, zayibona imhlolo, you know. Yeah, no, people, even the people you train, there are con artists, there are all sorts of things, and people can lie with a straight face, and people can declare their undying love and support for you because they can still, people can love you as long as they can solicit something from you. The minute you stop being a something to them, then they, or when they fail to solicit, then you are called all sorts of names. Dallas is born abantu bakithi. Coco, can you phahla alone in your room when you live with your parents? Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Coco. Watch the phahla one-on-one. Coco, an elder at the institute said, I have Nzunza. What is that? I didn't ask him, just listened. We don't have a male elder at the institute. The two elders, the two elders at the institute is me and Mkulumkasha, and then there are seniors. And none of this, was it maybe it's Mkulupenyo? Was it Mkulupenyo? Yeah. I don't know who. Yeah. Oh, I forgot Penyo is a senior. Yeah. Because I don't train a lot of males. Oh, we are past the time. We are past the time. But beloveds, I feel like we've answered quite a few questions. Remember to get those codes coming. Remember to get the lunch coming. Yes, the spirit of the mermaid exists. Go on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, beloveds, you will find a teaching that says different types of ancestral spirits. So I speak about the mermaids, then Zonza, I speak about all sorts of things. So yes, he wears glasses. No, Peño doesn't wear glasses. Was it Edda? Oh, Mkulpeng. My dad, probably that's my dad with gray hair. Was it an old man with gray hair? Because if you say he wears glasses, that's probably my dad. That's probably my dad. Yeah. So please go on the YouTube. You will find the teaching there that, okay, here is, I'm going to be here while you send me some love. Do this. There you go. That's the WhatsApp number. Please take a screenshot. Yes, right, Simnigi, were they probably talking about? Yes, he's a very sweet guy. He's my dad. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to save this. Yes, I'm going to save it on and I'll upload it tonight on YouTube. Even yesterday's one, if you missed it, it's already on YouTube. It's called Real Talk with Coco Dineo. This will be Q&A, and Simnigi has been kind enough to give me the headlines of the things that I covered on this one. So when you go search for a specific one, you can find this one here. Love and light, beloveds. We shall see you tomorrow.